Whether you guys are getting ready for the Savage Tier of Eden in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, maybe just making a little bit of extra money on the side, or you're just a completionist and want to have everything leveled to 80 eventually, we're going to be going over how to level your crafting classes up to 80 in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers today, both quickly and as efficiently as possible for you guys. So we're going to be going over the different methods of leveling, what ones are going to work out the best, what ones are going to get done the quickest, which ones are going to cost the most or least expensive, what you're going to need gear-wise, and how to cut corners on that a little bit and level different crafting classes in a certain order, as well as macros so you can go in there and not have to worry about doing everything manually every single time. We're going to have different macros for you guys for the 80 durability, the 40 durability, and then as you level up, you'll be unlocking new skills, which will allow you to go ahead and make even newer macros, which are quicker macros, so you can level even faster. So we're gonna have all that stuff for you guys. Let's get into it for you right here. So welcome to the Crystalline Mean. This is where you're spending the most of your time here in front of this NPC. This guy is gonna be giving you the bulk of your experience on your journey to 80 here with your crafter and Shadowbringers. Now, if you've looked at a leave mate before, you've done leave quests before, this probably shouldn't be a big surprise to you. You get EXP for turning in certain items here. Now, the basic thing we need to touch on here is what of these different leaves you're going to be doing for each of the different crafting classes. Have no fear, you don't need to memorize names or anything. Just note that you're looking for this sort of leaf plate. You're looking at this woman crafting something together. It's always going to be one leaf plate is going to look like this per each grouping of 3. The other 2 are always going to be a dwarf or something with a big old hammer, smash something down. You do not want to do these hammer ones. You want to be doing the one with the woman sewing something. This is because this leaf plate denotes that this is a leave that you can turn in up to 3 times. This allows you to get a bunch of bonus experience while you craft triple the items. You can turn them in 3 times, as many times as normal, to get triple the EXP. And this allows you to get very efficient EXP leveling up from 70 to 80. This is what allows you to get there in as few as 12 leave plates between crafting the items yourself a little bit, as well as some of the Crystarium deliveries, which we'll get into in a minute here. So have no fear, don't get confused. You cannot get confused. Don't worry about which sort of crafting, quest names you're looking for these leaves for each of the different classes. It's always going to be whatever leave, your newest one with this picture, that's going to be your most EXP per leave earned there. Now, some of them, depending on which sort of server you're on, it may be, a little bit more beneficial financial-wise to still do maybe, like, say, this level 70 Weaver leave instead of the 72 one, because maybe something costs way more money to make, and the EXP gain isn't that different. It's going to be a little bit more, quite a bit more. An HQ item gives you, 300,000 more EXP. And then you can, get that benefit again since it's an HQ item. So 600K and then 1.2 million, then 1.8 million. So that's pretty substantial, but it's not going to make or break your leveling process. And if the change is going to save you a bunch of money, then you're pretty educated. I trust in your ability to go ahead and make that decision for yourself. But this is the general guideline. Look for these leaves here. Now, we did talk about the Crystarium Deliveries Npcs. So let's go ahead over there and talk about them as well. So the Crystarium Delivery NPCs are just a little bit away from the leave, as you can see on the map, just their next door neighbors here. This is where you can get some bonus EXP. This is maybe going to help you level from 70 to 71 initially, or maybe help you transfer from, say, a level 75 crafting class to a level 76 crafting class to get that little bit of extra EXP on that leave. All right, and you'll be able to use these in whatever way you want. Now, do note that these are Crystarium deliveries, so they are pretty much like the turn-in systems that we've seen before, where each of the NPCs are going to ask you for a certain item. And they are going to be made up of normal materials. It's not going to be something that you can go buy from a vendor or anything like that. They're going to be materials that you either need to go and buy off the market board or gather yourself if you do have a gathering class. That being said, there are 3 different NPCs for you this time to worry about instead of just 1, and each of these NPCs is associated with a couple of the different crafting classes. So this guy here in front of us is for Alchemist and Culinarian. There is another NPC for Goldsmith, Armorsmith, and Blacksmith, and then there's another final NPC for Leatherworking, Weaver, and Woodworker. Then there's, just as there was for some of the other turn-in NPCs a long time ago and some of the other expansions, there are some quests and storylines associated with these new Crystarium Delivery NPCs. This time, though, there's a substantial amount of EXP associated with their quests. As you can see here, the level 75 quest for this NPC is currently offering 8.2 million EXP. This is going to help you bridge that gap from 75 to 76, is worth quite a few of the leaves as well. So do keep in mind that you want to be doing these Crystarium Deliveries, not only for the delivery EXP from doing the deliveries themselves, but from the quests that come when you do enough of the deliveries. You can keep going on the quest, do some more deliveries, and then switch back and forth between these and leaves. So use the Crystarium Deliveries, the quests, and the deliveries themselves to bridge the gap to get access to new leaves or to gain access to new equipment. And we'll talk about that real quick. Let's talk about what equipment you guys are looking to be using here. What I used, I'm all the way up to 80. So I personally use the old Stormblood Onishi HQ set with melds to level all of my crafting classes from 70 all the way to 80. So if you have this stuff, rest your head knowing that you don't need to worry about melding any new melds and any new gear midway through leveling up to 80. Nothing like that. You can wear your old stuff all the way up to level 80, and then you can wear and create the new level 80 set and go from there. Now that being said, I didn't actually use the main hand and offhand Onishi crafted stuff. I used the yellow script gear, okay, the level 70 350 main hand and the level 330 offhand. Now if you don't have the yellow scripts, you don't have the Onishi gear, you're relatively new to the game, but you've leveled your characters up to 70 and don't have any powerful overmelded gear, I would highly recommend you to not get the Onishi stuff and meld it all the way up unless it's very easy for you to do for some reason. What I would recommend for you to do instead is to go ahead and do maybe a leave or so. All right, even if you get NQ on a couple of the items, do a leave or so. Do the old delivery NPCs, right, from Stormblood and maybe even Heavensward areas, and then do the Crystarium Delivery NPCs to get that EXP to get you from level 70 to 71. This is going to allow you to equip the level 71 gear, which there is a nice full set for you to equip. While doing these different deliveries, you're going to be earning your yellow crafting scripts. This is going to allow you to at least buy a main hand and offhand for one or two of your jobs. I would highly recommend you doing blacksmith first. This is going to allow you to go ahead and craft a lot of the other main hand and offhands for your other classes, all right, be it goldsmith or leatherworker or what have you. And then the goldsmith one can craft the weaver one, and once you have all of those main hand offhand weapons and all of those classes are at level 71, you'll be able to create the level 71 crafted set, and then you can go ahead and just skip the old Onishi stuff and wear the better 71 stuff. Put a little bit of melds in there, and you'll have at least a set of gear to work with, guys. And so that gets us to the final part. We've gone through why you may be leveling up. We've gone through where you should level up and what you should be looking for with leaves and deliveries and what not to miss out on. We've gone through what sort of gear you're looking for. Let's go over why you need that gear. And here's the thing here, the simple, easy solution: macros. It's going to take a lot of the effort out of making different materials to make the items, to get the leaves accomplished or the turnits accomplished, or just make a little bit of money on the way here. These are going to be some of my favorite macros for you guys here. Let's go over them and what you should be using them for. I also have some other macros compiled for you guys in the links in the description below as well. But let's go over why you should be using these ones and what you should be using these ones. That being said, guys, don't forget that these different macros, each macro will have a different requirement for control, craftsmanship, and CP after food, guys. So we'll have those listed for you in the link below or in the description as well, guys. So let's go over this here. The first one here is the 70 to 71 level 80 durability macro. This is a two-part macro, and if you have the required stats, this is going to be a 100% HQ with no HQ mats, 100% success rate on progress as well macro. This is going to help you make all of your leave items, right? A lot of the leave items are 80 durability, so this is going to be your bread and butter. That being said as well, there's going to be another one here for 40 durability down you can find in the comment section below. Both these are two-part macros as well, and this is going to be a macro that's going to allow you to go ahead and get the 40 durability items if you want to make your own, say, cloth or ore or what have you, or ingots, and then use those to make the 80 durability full armor pieces and whatnot that you'll be using for the leaves themselves. You're going to be using this macro from level 70 to 71. There is going to be a macro down there that's going to have an insanely high CP cost that I didn't even use on my way up there. I literally took out one of the touches, just straight up took a touch out, changed one of the great strides because I had so much extra control that I was HQing it anyway, and I actually just cut a bunch of CP out of there, so we'll have that macro down there for you as well. because it was something ridiculous like 500 and something CP. You basically needed max melded CP in the old Onishi set with melded CP in the main hand and the offhand. I didn't have that, so I just took out a couple of the things, dropped the CP down there, the usage a little bit, and now we're totally in business. And then once you start leveling up, you start getting some extra macros you can use. This is a 1-button macro, 40 durability. I am still using this one, very quick. You know, pounds that 40 durability item out, 100% HQ rate, 100% success rate, good to go. Just hit this bad boy over and over and over. And then we have his brother over here, the 80 easy craft, as I like to call it. And it just is 80 durability, 100% success rate, 100% crafting rate, HQ rate, all of that fun stuff, 1 button. Now, these are some of the macros you'll be using later on. As you'll see in the comment section, I'll have them all listed out for you guys there. And speaking of stats, there is an NPC vendor in the Musical Universalis. Hanji Fei here is a culinarian who sells a very nice blood bolibas for max CP and max control here. This is very cheap food to go ahead and buy. I've used this leveling all the way up to 80. It's a little bit weaker than some of the crafted food you could get during Stormblood, and a bit weaker than some of the crafted food you can get now in Shadowbringers, but this is and was more than enough for me to get all the way there, guys. So enjoy your new home on the road to 80. Remember, links in the description down below for the different crafting macros, as well as the different control and craftsmanship and CP you'll need to hit in order to use those macros. If you want to see more stuff like this, be sure to hit that subscription button. Come hang out on the Twitch channel where we stream FF14, as well as some other games from time to time. So I'll see you then. Until then, though, be safe and take care out there, guys. I'll see you